What's cooking, y'all? Welcome back to another yapping session. Today we are diving into the old Ottoman Empire's rise. So it would be best if you buckled up because you're going to start driving, and if you get into an accident, you'll be glad that you buckled up. So this is a tale of ambition, strategy, and a bit of good old-fashioned conquest. You've been transported back in time, and you're now in the late 13th century, and in Anatolia. A small tribe of Turkish warriors is making some pretty serious moves. Led by some nerd called Osman I, they start carving out territory that would eventually transform into one of the most formidable empires in history. That's right, we're talking about the world-famous, comfortable footstools. Never mind. Big video is telling me that it's actually the Ottoman Empire? I don't even know how these furniture pieces carved out an empire, so I guess we're learning this together. So according to my new script from Big Video, these guys didn't just stumble into power. The Ottomans were masters in military tactics, diplomacy, and statecraft. They seized opportunities as neighboring Byzantine and Seljuk empires were weakening, capitalizing on the nature, chaos, and instability in the region. But how did our four-legged friends get their power? They captured the city of Bursa in 1326. Now, this wasn't just a strategic victory, it became the first major capital of the Ottoman state, setting the stage for further expansion. And that's just the beginning. They manufactured some more footstools, and they had a formidable army, which also included some elite stools, which were called the janissaries. Don't ask me how any of them could talk, let alone run an empire. But hold on, their thirst for power didn't end there. The real game changer came in 1453 when Sultan Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror, captured Constantinople. This wasn't just a city, it was the symbol of Byzantine power and Christian dominance in the east. With this victory, the Ottomans could not only establish their capital, but it also signaled the start of a new era in world history. Oh, I remember now. The Ottomans weren't footstools, they were those guys from EU4, the big green strong ones. Okay, this makes a little more sense now. I don't know what's going on with Big Video, but they're making tons of mistakes. Okay, well, back to the main point. The question now is, how did this once small nomadic tribe rise to such heights? Well, looking ahead in the script, I know what's coming, but you guys can't see it, so you'll have to stick around. Alright, now that we have the background, we can get into the Ottoman lore. How did this remarkable empire start from such a humble beginning? The story begins with a guy named Osman. Born in around 1258, he was the leader of a Turkish tribe in Anatolia. His father, I'm not even going to give myself the chance to butcher that, had already started carving out a space for their tribe amidst the declining power of the Seljuks, Sultanate of Rum, and the Byzantine Empire. Osman's tribe was one of many Ghazi warriors in the region. Ghazis were the frontier warriors of Islam, dedicated to fighting against non-Muslims. But Osman was a little special, or so his mother told him. Hey, my mother also tells me that I'm really special. Well, he had a vision for something greater, a unified state under his leadership, and it all started with a dream, literally. According to legend, Osman had a prophetic dream where a moon rose from the chest of a holy man and settled in his chest, and then a tree sprang from his stomach, casting its shadow over the world. This dream was interpreted as a sign that Osman's descendants would rule a vast empire. Fueled by this vision, Osman began his campaign of expansion. He took advantage of the political vacuum left by the crumbling Byzantine and Seljuk authorities, capturing small Byzantine fortresses and towns. One of his key strategies was forging alliances through marriage and diplomacy, bolstering his tribe's strength without always resorting to force. The name Ottoman itself comes from Osman or Uthman in Arabic. His followers, known as the Ottomans, quickly developed a reputation for their military prowess and shrewd tactics. They were adaptable, using both Turkish cavalry techniques and new military innovations they encountered along the way. By the time of Osman's death, around 1326, the Ottomans had established a solid foothold in northwest Anatolia. But Osman's true legacy was his son, Orhan, who would go on to capture the city of Bursa. Both these kings were important to the rise of the Ottomans, but there were a few other key characters. So, now that we've got some idea of the first kings who got the ball rolling, others followed them, so let's talk about them. And I'm going to rank them in the most objective way possible, a tier list with vague parameters as to what each tier is and how you get there. First up, we have Osman. As mentioned earlier, Osman was the founder of the Ottoman dynasty. Osman's ability to rally his tribe and inspire loyalty was crucial in those early years. We did already talk about it, so I'll just get to ranking him. He gets an A tier because he started it all and did pretty well. Now let's talk about Orhan, Osman's son. Orhan continued his father's legacy by capturing Bursa. But he wasn't just about conquering, he was also a builder and administrator. Under his rule, the Ottomans began to develop a more structured government and military system, including the establishment of the Janissaries, an elite corps of soldiers who would become the backbone of the Ottoman military. That to me sounds like another A tier. Then there's Murad, Orhan's son. Murad took the empire to new heights by expanding territory into the Balkans. He captured Adrianople, which is now Edirne, in 1361, which he made the new capital. It seems like each ruler was making a new capital at this point. Murad's reign marked the beginning of significant Ottoman presence in Europe. He also established the devshirme system, recruiting Christian boys from conquered territories to serve in the Ottoman administration and military, further strengthening the empire. He made taking European land cool, so he gets an S tier. Next we have Bayezid I, also known as the Thunderbolt. Bayezid was known for his rapid and aggressive military campaigns. He expanded Ottoman control in the Balkans and Anatolia, and his swift conquests earned him a fearsome nickname. However, this ambition also led to a dramatic clash with Timur, which resulted in his capture and a temporary setback for the empire. Because of that, he gets a B tier. And finally, we can't forget about Mehmed the Conqueror. Mehmed's reign marked a turning point in Ottoman history with the capture of Constantinople in 1453. This monumental event not only brought an end to the Byzantine Empire, but also established the Ottomans as a dominant power in the region. Mehmed's vision extended beyond conquest. He transformed Constantinople into a vibrant, cosmopolitan capital, now known as Istanbul, that became the heart of the Ottoman Empire, much to the Romabu's dismays. Because he took Constantinople, he gets an S tier. So that's the end of the tier list, so let's move on. I already talked about the fall of Constantinople in this video, which you should watch after this one. So yeah, I guess there's not much to say, so let's move on. I already talked about it, so let's get on with it. Since I already made a video covering the topic, I think we can safely move on. Yep, we don't need to... Okay, I'll move on. From taking of Constantinople, the empire expanded rapidly under successive sultans. Suleiman I conquered the Mamluk Sultanate in 1517, bringing Egypt, the Levant, and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina under Ottoman control. This not only expanded their territory, but also enhanced their prestige in the Muslim world. And then came Suleiman the Magnificent, perhaps the most famous Ottoman sultan. During his reign from 1520 to 1566, the empire reached its height. Suleiman expanded Ottoman rule into Hungary, capturing Belgrade and laying siege to Vienna in 1529. He also secured control over much of North Africa, solidifying Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean. But expanding an empire is one thing, governing it is another. The Ottomans developed a sophisticated administrative system to manage their diverse and sprawling territories. At the heart of this system was the millet system, which allowed various religious communities, such as Christians and Jews, to govern themselves under their laws while still owing allegiance to the Sultan. This policy of relative religious tolerance helped maintain peace and order within the empire. The Ottomans also implemented a highly effective provincial governance system. The empire was divided into provinces, each governed by a bey or pasha appointed by the Sultan. These governors were responsible for maintaining law and order, collecting taxes, and ensuring the loyalty of their provinces. To prevent any single governor from being too powerful, the Sultan frequently rotated them between provinces. Economic prosperity was another cornerstone of the Ottoman Empire. Empire controlled key trade routes between Europe, Asia, and Africa, bringing in wealth from trade tariffs and taxes. The Ottomans also invested in infrastructure, building roads, bridges, and caravanserais to facilitate communication and trade across their territories. The combination of military might, innovative governance, economic prosperity, and strategic diplomacy allowed the Ottomans not only to expand their empire, but also to maintain it for centuries. Their ability to adapt and integrate various cultures and systems into their administration was key to their long-lasting success. The Ottomans started off as a small tribe, but grew to become a major player on the world stage. Each ruler was important in their own ways, except for the ones that weren't, but we don't talk about them. It wasn't just about expanding and conquering. Sometimes the sultans threw parties, and they were also good at administration. Each element combined together to create a strong state that lasted a long time, much longer than me, but this sometimes is better to finish early. However, in the case of a country, 1 minute is pretty short, but for people that's average. Okay, so there you have it. I'm all done. I've read the script. Big video. Will you please let my family out? Thank you in advance.